Hi Glenn, I just wanted to give you a quick rundown of where I'm at with the store distribution dashboard. Um, so the way I set this up was I have the data section in the back end, which is just the data that you gave me. And when you come in here, you'll just paste your new data into this range, and everything else will update automatically. I'm mostly using pivot tables, some like COUNTIF functions, SUMIF functions, and I can explain those to you if you want at a future date. But just as far as the content goes, I wanted to run you through the metrics I'm looking at and see if this is what you were looking for. So the dashboard is split out into 4 sections. The first is SKU order and volume density. So this just picks the top 10 SKUs by volume. In this case, you can see with SKU 562-75995 has a volume of 2,000 units across all stores and all business segments. It finds the total for these top 10, and then it compares it to the total of the entire data set you gave me. So in this case, the top 10 SKUs make up 16.5% of total volume. The second graph shows SKU density, and this was just the frequency versus the volume, which is a metric that you wanted me to look at. So the top average SKU of these top 10 is 61.1 for the density, and the average for the entire data set is 6.8. And then there are 525 SKUs with a density of less than 3. Again, those were just metrics you wanted me to look at. Hopefully this is a good way to look at them for you as far as the layout goes. And finally, the case picks versus unit picks was on one of the tabs you gave me, and this was just how many of the orders actually round to the total number of units in a case. And in this case, only 14% of orders actually qualify as case picks based on the logic you gave me, and then the rest are unit picks. And all this will update when you paste new data into the back end. These are just charts based on pivot tables. These are just sum and get pivot data formulas, so everything will be updated. So the second section was around the order quantity and efficiency. So in this case, we are looking at orders with a quantity within 3 units of the case size. So the example you gave was if someone is ordering 9 units and the case size is 10, why not just order 1 more unit? So the way to look at this is by SKU and then by store. So total SKUs by segment, you can see here these are all business groups that have pretty inefficient SKUs for the most part. You can see there, actually sorry, I gotta update this. There we go. You can see that there are mostly stores and, for example, homeswear, menswear, and womenswear that have inefficient SKUs where they should be ordering, one more or one less unit. And then it breaks it down by the delta. So you said, how many SKUs are 1 off, how many are 2 off, how many are 3 off, and that just is broken down in this table by SKU, and then also again by store, the same logic here. So for example, there are 22 stores that have an inefficient SKU in the menswear section, is how you would read this. And then everything's just totaled at the bottom, so you can get an aggregated view. And the next section is the order profile section, very similar to the last section, but instead of looking at the delta, it's just number of SKUs with less than 3 units in them. And again, I look at that by SKU, number of stores that order a SKU with less than 3 units, and then how many units are actually in the SKU, 1, 2, or 3. So you can see, for example, in menswear, there are 859 SKUs with only 1 unit in them being purchased. Pretty straightforward stuff. And then finally, the store profile section is similar to the first section we looked at, but it's looking at it by store instead of by SKU. So again, you have volume, count, and density, or frequency rather, I guess is the terminology you would use. You can see that the volume here, these are the top 10 stores by volume. 5599 looks to be the clear volume winner here. Top volume is about 23,000 units, and that makes up 27% of total volume for the data set you gave me. Frequency is here. You can see this is just the number of SKUs ordered as opposed to the volume. And the top count is 2,500 here, and that makes up about 21% of the total. And finally, density. This is just the volume over the frequency. Again, for top stores, the density is an average of about 19 units, and then the average for the total data set is 6.8, which should match up with the number up here. Yep, 6.8, okay. And then finally, you want to look at store count by volume. So how many stores are ordering less than 25 units? You gave me a few different brackets here, up to 100 plus units, which I will add that in. There we go. And you can see the majority of stores do have over 100 units in orders, but there are some that have less than 25, 25 to 50. You just have the store count here, the percentage of total here, and then just a graph if you're more visual. So that's where I'm at right now. These are all formulas you can see, so it's all going to update automatically. What I'll probably do is create a macro to help you import data, just so that you don't have to actually delete this data set and then paste a new one in, since the length of the data set will most likely change. But other than that, I think we're in a pretty good spot. If there's anything else you want me to add, just let me know in the email. I saw the email you sent last night around having different unit sizes per case for a few SKUs and calling those out in a separate tab, and I'll be working on that today. But if there's anything other than that that you want to see, or if you want to see a more granular view, for example, if you want to see like a lookup option where you can look up certain data by SKU or data by store with like a pick list, and you can see all the SKUs or all the stores in the pick list, that's something I can do. But yeah, let me know. I should be around most of the day.